Yeah, what's going on, y'all? Coach PJ Sheridan coming to you live and direct from the FightCamp studio. And today we're going to talk about the most important punch in all of combat sports, but specifically in boxing, and that is the jab. And more specifically, we're going to talk about 5 common mistakes that we see. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll know when FightCamp drops these videos and you'll be the first to get notified. Now, for me, in my opinion, the first mistake that I see typically is going to be dropping the lead hand. Now, I can throw my jab and I can drop that hand on the way out to the punch to try to get more shift and power, but that's dropping the hand, exposing my face. The second way you can drop the lead hand is on the retraction. A lot of people call it a lazy jab. You can throw that jab nice and high up top, but then on the retraction, it comes down here in this weird locomotion movement, which leaves you open to get countered. That chin being open is gonna be a great way for you to get knocked out and not remember the mistake you made in the first place. So, fix that jab by keeping it high and bringing it right back. Speaking of dropping the hands, a second mistake when it comes to throwing the jab is gonna be dropping your rear hand. So as I throw my jab, if I drop my hand back here, what I'm gonna be doing is opening myself up for a counter hook. It's a very common thing to drop that hand at the same time as I extend the jab. I don't know what it is, especially with beginners. We usually think that our whole body has to kind of go into these things when, in all actuality, keeping everything tight and compact is going to be the safest and most effective way to make you a better fighter. So when you're throwing that jab, keep that rear hand back at home and extend it and bring it all the way back. Another mistake that I see typically with the jab is going to be leaning into it or kind of pushing the jab. Now, when I get set up into a boxing stance, and there's many ways to teach it, if my head leans too far forward over my lead toe, trying to extend into this jab, what I'm doing is not necessarily getting more power into it, more snap, but what I'm doing is I'm bringing my face closer to my opponent, which hence can get me knocked out. By keeping that head kind of back in your center line and rotating and extending the jab, you're able to keep your body and your head safe. That way you don't get knocked out. Hey, one of the other and one of my least favorite jab mistakes I made for years, and I can't even lie about it. I used to always wing my jab and out. So, boxing is going to teach you to keep your elbows tight, protect that rib cage. But if you throw your jab and you wing the elbow out to try to get rotation, torque, and power, what you're not only going to be doing is opening up your rib cage, right, to get counter to the body, but you're also going to telegraph that jab. In boxing, the sweet science, it's hit and not get hit. So you don't want to get hit. And if you show your opponent what you're about to do, that's an easy way for you to get countered. Try to keep the elbow tight to the rib cage instead of winging it out. You're not going to get power or more speed, trust me. Now, one of my least favorite things is when people don't throw the jab enough. This is the 5th mistake I see. In boxing, the jab is the most important punch. It is not only going to set you up with your power shots, it's going to give you a distance and a range finder. It'll help you in a lot of different ways, from parrying to pawing and to even giving your opponent something to kind of keep his eyes distracted. That way you can set up the power shot from behind. But if you don't throw enough jabs, if you only rely on one every now and then, what you're doing is you're limiting yourself. You're not using your whole arsenal, and more importantly, you're giving your opponent an opportunity to win the jab exchange. So, all in all, what you want to focus on is practice the jab as often as you can. Keep both hands up, especially that rear hand. Keep those elbows tight. Throw the jab often and don't lean too far forward towards your opponent or the bag. It has been a pleasure to go through these incredible jab mistakes with you. Make sure you follow me on social at Train with PJ. And again, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you'll be the first to know when FightCamp drops videos just like this one. Until next time, y'all, peace.